Hey everybody, how's it going? Chris is getting the camera set up. Lots of chatter already.
Yeah.
Thanks
good.
for joining us. Yeah, so lots of people wanting to know about, can I put a truss rod in sideways? Can I put I don't even know if I'm actually watching this. I think I am. Here we go. Oh crap, hold on, I gotta turn the, okay.
I forgot my iPad, so we have to use Matt's phone for.
Wait, this isn't even the thing.
Not it.
God dang it. Can you vamp for a little while, Chris,
I can
please?
vamp.
Okay, thank you.
No,
No, like, can you do it for real or, you know?
Oh, what do you want me to do?
There we go. Well,
Okay, now we're good.
yeah, you need to just talk
I need to work
about
on my
stuff.
my
yeah.
vamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do.
So lots of people wanted to know, can I put a truss rod? You can't look. Don't copy my paper. Lots of people wanted to know about truss rods.
Yeah.
Can I put a truss rod in sideways to counteract the? No, I don't think you can. I think if you've got wood that's moving all over the place that you want to start compensating for twist and sideways movement with a truss rod, just make the neck out of something that's not wood. Make the neck out of carbon fiber or graphite or metal or plastic or something. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
bound to be something. Someone said something about son of a bitch, but all right, go back. Okay, someone said something about Matt, you're distorting. Oh, okay, Matt's too loud, really? When has that ever
really a
not
thing?
been, the thing? Okay, so, yeah, I'm on 3, Dave. And then I get turn it up and blah, blah, blah. So, you know what? You guys are basically full of crap, I think. So, no, yeah, if you guys can't give me a straight answer, I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing.
Well, I think
Or we can shit can the microphones
and we can
yeah.
go back to the other way too. We can do that if you want.
So but someone said something about a Paul Reed Smith copying my half fretted, half fretless bass,
Yeah.
and that I didn't invent that.
Right.
I just do it, and I don't. I think that if anyone at Paul Reed Smith made that, it's not because they saw me do it. It's just that they came up with the idea too.
Yeah,
Because I don't think anybody at Paul Reed Smith has any idea that I'm even alive.
Oh, you never know.
I'm pretty sure they don't. But
maybe.
yeah. So anyway, damn it, this is
over here.
you wanna see? Can you do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, just scroll.
Okay.
If you do it over there, then you can. That's how
So
it works.
given guitars, Matt, you are clipping. Turn Matt up. See, I don't know if you guys are pulling my dick or what, but yeah. So let's just jump right in, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Thursday evening. Here, I'll move my microphone down here. That way. I really don't. I'll put it on this coffee mug.
That's super handy.
I don't know what these boys want. All right, is that any better, guys? Probably not. So anyway, this is our Thursday live question and answer about guitar repair and guitar building. And we do this every Thursday that we're not doing a live class. That means that every time we're doing a live class, we will not be doing one of these. When's the next live class, Chris?
Next Thursday.
Okay, what is the next live class?
It is deep diving into frets.
Okay.
Fret repair, fret replacement, fret installation.
Okay.
Fret dressing, French dressing.
And I hope we're not doing that.
We're not doing French dressing.
Okay.
Yeah, just everything you always wanted to know about frets.
Okay, cool.
Even some stuff you didn't.
And
know
everything,
about frets.
some things you don't want to know about frets.
Yep.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for this program. Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. Go check out Ike and Dylan and Nico if you're in the Denver area. Or if you're awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, you want to buy guitar stuff, their online store is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'd like to thank Mike Learn Guitars and Mike Learn Airbrush. Someone was like, there's no such thing as Mike Learn Guitars. It's just Mike Learn and Mike Learn Airbrush. If you just look up Mike Learn, yeah, we'd like to thank Mike. He's helping us out a lot.
And he makes guitars.
He does make guitars,
And
yeah.
he paints stuff with airbrushes.
There's probably a reason
And he's
it's
an
not
artist.
Learn Guitar, because then there's a bunch of,
Yeah, you gotta. The key on looking up Mike is to put the word Mike in there.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, Mike Learn.
Yeah,
And then whatever you want to know.
that's right. I'd like to thank Bitterroot Guitars for helping us out and supplying you guys with a discount code. If you type in TXTOAST at checkout, you get 15% off your order from Bitterroot Guitars. So that's a very cool thing. I'd like to thank Dan and the guys at Guitar Wood Experts. And I believe that Texas Toast 15 is a still fully operational discount code there. I'd like to thank our friends at SimTech Coating for making all of the paints that we use that aren't color coats. Or actually, just the sealer coats and primers are what we use from SimTech right now. Is that right, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. And I also like to thank Jesse Givens at Weenus Picks for helping us out and sponsoring this episode today. If you, for the first word in picks, think Weenus and contact Jesse Givens for all of that stuff. So anyway, this is the only Q&A show with actual guitar builders. What's so funny? I don't make up the name. It's
For the first name in picks.
That's what.
Give him a call.
Look,
if he denies it, keep pestering.
Look, if you guys want to, advertise your product and it has a name that someone might think is silly sounding, then you could. All I'm doing is relaying the message. So yeah. But anyway, Chris likes to say this is the show that has everything from wood selection to string selection and everything in between. So. All right, Chris, let's start looking and see what we have here for some questions here. Okay. I just glued the neck in on my first set neck scratch build. That's not really a question, but congratulations. Let's see. How would you use a Tune-o-matic bridge with a Telecaster? String spacing? Would the fender nut still work, or would I need to cut a new one? Thanks, Matt and Chris. Why don't you take that one?
You would not need to cut a new nut. The string spacing would be fine. Traditional Telecaster string spacing is slightly wider than a Tune-o-matic, but modern Telecaster spacing is the same as a Tune-o-matic. So you could use a Tune-o-matic for a Telecaster. It wouldn't be any real issue.
There is an issue though with a Tune-o-matic and a Telecaster.
Now if you're going from a traditional bridge to a Tune-o-matic, then it's wrought with peril. For one, a Tune-o-matic sits a lot higher off the body than a traditional Telecaster bridge does.
Generally speaking, if you're starting with a new guitar build that you're doing and you want to use a Tune-o-matic on any Fender, the easiest way to pull that off is to recess the Tune-o-matic.
Yep. And
usually about 1/4 of an inch does it.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that you'll need to worry about and work with a Tune-o-matic on really any Fender. Now, if you're starting with a guitar that's already been a Telecaster and had a Tele bridge, none of that stuff's going to work right. Like the string through holes are going to be on the wrong side. And you're going to have to basically start from scratch anyway and drill a bunch of new holes. So you'll just be filling and drilling and yeah. So, all right. But I like that one because I like Tune-o-matics on Fenders sometimes, and especially Tellies. I think that's a cool thing. Someone says don't forget to thank Jesus. As soon as Jesus pays me, we will. Let's see. What length truss rod in a standard Telly? Dan wants to know. Dan, this is the rod that we use in all of our standard guitars. It's 17 1/4, 17 1/8. And that works very, very well. Yeah?
Yep.
All right. And we got those at Bitterroot Guitars, and you can buy these from Bitterroot as well. Why does my guitar not sound in tune above the 15th fret?
Because it's not intonated, or because you are pressing too hard.
You could have, you could have a buttload of relief. Boy, we had a lot of people talking about relief last night in our truss rod chat. And, guys, if you want relief in your neck, fine. I don't care. I just don't put it in my necks. If you want me to build a neck for you that has relief in it, would we do that, Chris?
Sure.
Every day, yeah. But as a rule, unless you say otherwise, our guitars are flat. Our necks are flat. There's no relief in the necks. If you like relief, again, this whether you like it or not is a topic for another day. But if you have a bunch of relief right around that 15th fret, and you have to pull that string. And you, even if you had like, so let's set up the perfect storm. Everything on the guitar is perfectly intonated, lots of relief, really high frets. By the time, if you like really mash that string all the way down to the fretboard, that could throw you out of tune. So, okay, let's see. Now someone says mic gain is low for Chris. Weren't the original Tune-o-matic bridges on Les Pauls having to be recessed for the same reason? I don't know that they were. It is possible though that the neck angle was wrong on a Gibson guitar in the past, and they had to recess the bridge. It is. I would say, I would go as far as to say it's even likely, but I don't know of an entire model year being off. That
No, I think those original Les Paul trapeze tailpieces were significantly lower, and if you went to retrofit an early Les Paul with the Tune-o-matic, then yeah, you'd have to recess the Tune-o-matic.
Okay. Have you guys ever done neck through guitar build videos? Travis wants to know. Travis, we have not done any videos, I don't think, on neck through because we don't make a lot of neck through guitars. We do make them, we just don't make a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about neck through instruments, Chris?
I think it's a cool and interesting technique to make a guitar. I'm not quite sure why people get so wound up about it. I don't really know what the payoff is. Unless you're doing like a cool kind of different laminate and layup.
If you wanted to have a neck that was a neck all the way to the very, very, very last fret, and not have to worry about a neck joint, that'd be a reason.
That's a good reason for it. Yeah.
Or if you were going for an aesthetic of some kind. Yeah. We don't really get a lot of call for neck throughs. We'll do them, but for the most part, we don't. Okay, let's see. What's the purpose of a multi-scale or fan fret guitar / bass? How does it affect tuning? Sean, it doesn't affect tuning at all. The notes are still the same. The real advantage to a fan fret guitar, a lot of people think it's intonation. I do not think that. I think it's primarily really cool if you have those basses with extra low strings. 34-inch scale might not be enough for that. So guys devised this sort of fanned thing to allow you to have one string with a 35-inch scale and so like imagine your biggest lowest note string has a 35-inch scale and your highest note string has a 34-inch scale. You could accomplish that with fan frets. Every string in between has a different scale length too. So yeah, it's that's what I think where the real payoff is. I made a guitar one time that had a 25.5-inch scale on the low E and 24 5/8 scale on the high E, and everything else was something in between because it fanned out. And it was okay. Nobody really noticed any difference. They would go, I don't know if I could play it or not, and then they'd pick it up and play it just fine. But there are people who go, well, your hand is this. But no, that's all bunk. It's really just to get those lower strings to be lower. If you were playing a lot of sludge stuff, and you wanted to have especially have you're tuned to C, and then you dropped your lower string even more, that would be a great place to have a fan fret. Or baritone guitar. Anyway, so I hope that answers your question. Okay. Let's see. For a PJ or jazz bass, do you prefer a VVT or a VBT setup for passive pickups? So volume tone or volume bass tone, I'm guessing, is what the B stands for in that. Do you know?
Maybe bass treble.
Bass treble, yeah. If it was me, on my basses, I just go master volume, master tone. What do you like, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Can you see any real advantage to?
No, and I can't really see any advantage to wanting to cut bass.
Yeah. I would rather have a switch than a blend control.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's what the B stands for. Blend. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't
that.
know.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say on a passive guitar, I really, if people would buy them, I wouldn't put tones and volume controls on anything, because I think it's just extra stuff that you really don't need. So, but everybody wants to be able to. The very first run of guitars that we made had no controls. Remember those?
I
And
do.
they were wildly unpopular.
They were.
So we started putting, all sorts of controls and things on them. But the fact of the matter is that tone controls are bunk. Nobody really. Someone's feverishly typing. I use my tone control all the time. Fine. But for the most part, it's just volume that people use, and then they kind of fiddle fart around with tone. But you're asking a $3 potentiometer and a 50-cent capacitor to do a lot more work than you are asking your several $1,000 amplifier to do. So if you want to talk about tone shaping, what's the difference in circuitry, Chris, on the Mesa Boogie amp over there and a tone control on a Telecaster?
There's a lot of difference.
Like what?
There's a lot of difference.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
A tone control on a guitar is really, really simple circuit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's 30s technology, 20s, 10s.
And the tone control doesn't add anything; it just takes away.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the TBX treble bass expander does not expand treble or bass.
Okay. What does it do?
Pulls mids.
Okay.
Rolls back mids.
All right.
Yeah. That's how you do it. Because there's no energy there's no electricity to up.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Anything that you do from the pickup to the output is pulling away
Okay.
from the overall output of the pickup.
Okay, here's one from
have a
Islander Winder. At the heel of the neck, can you remove the nut from a truss rod and replace it with a spoke nut? Absolutely. If the adjustment nut on your, say, Fender has removable something or another. So if we imagine that, let's say that this truss rod here, which is simply a 3/16 rod, and let's thread on this. Come on now. And this one doesn't want to go for some reason. So, okay, so I have threaded on this Fender heel adjust truss rod thing. It's got like a notch for a screwdriver. Okay, so if this is the truss rod you have in your guitar, just pull this out. You don't need that anymore, and get one of these spoke wheels that's threaded 1032, and carefully screw it on, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. You're good to go.
Yeah.
So yes, you absolutely can do that.
It won't fit the body.
Yeah, you'll need
unless
to.
you
That's
have to
right.
remove some material there.
You'll need to either remove material from the body area, which I think would be the most likely for success, because if you remove material from the neck, then all of a sudden either this thing is going to be too long or this thing is going to be too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. When is the next week-long Build a Guitar workshop? Let's see. Tim wants to know that.
That
Tim
is
and
a
Nader.
great question.
That's right. That is November 15.
I believe so. It's that Monday.
The middle Monday, and it's we've got one spot open for that class. It's the November Build a Classic Strat class. There's one spot open for that right now. If you want to come out to that, Tim, we would love to have you come out. You can sign up right on the website, and you can join us in November for like a month away.
Yeah.
No,
No,
less
like
half a month away.
Yeah, like
3 weeks out. Right?
Yeah, three weeks from this past Monday.
Yeah,
2 weeks
yeah.
from next Monday.
Yeah.
Good
So
Lord.
it's right around the corner.
Holy cow!
It's
Yeah.
right around the corner.
What about in December? Do we have any build a guitar classes?
We do not have any Build Guitar week-long classes in December. We do have an online class called In the Weeds with Guitar Necks, and we will be providing everyone in that class with a neck and fret wire, and we'll show you how to press frets in and shape necks. if you're interested in that, you can sign up for that too. The next week-long class after the one in November is January. And that's wildly exciting for me because it's the very, very first Build a Classic set neck guitar. And there's going to be lots of mahogany and maple. And that's kind of a more woodworking intense course. There's no finishing component. There's no electronics component because I just put a bunch of block. I have done nothing to the material. You guys are going to do it all. You're going to cut the fret slots, cut the truss rod. You're going to glue everything together. We're going to show you from starting Monday how to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be wildly, wildly cool.
Yeah, that'll be a fun class.
Okay, let's see. The 52 and mid 53 had the wrong neck angle. There you go.
Okay.
Truss rods, how long do you really need? It's basically from nut to last fret. No, it's not. You don't. Remember, the truss rod's only going to do. Well, let's get the. Here's a truss rod in a thing that I have kind of assembled. So it only works right here. So if where you think you need the most movement is going to be. The movement's only going to be in the center of the rod. How about that? Yes. So if your truss rod is 18 inches long, it's only going to act at the 9-inch position from the nut or from the end here. So, and that's usually, like I said, this 17-inch rod is just about perfect. In fact, if you guys want to see it in action, we can do that too, can't we, Chris?
Yep, we can.
So we'll put this truss rod in our little truss rod demo jig here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I probably am putting. Let's just put the very, very last little bit inside the.
Do you have a?
I thought I had a. Yeah. And then we'll start turning. Where do you predict the rod's going to start moving, Chris? Whoa, shit.
I think it's going to move in the middle.
I think so too. Okay. Here we go. I bet you it's going to be right about where my thumb is. And sure enough, it is. So, yeah, you just want remember, guys, the truss rod isn't moving anything. It's just holding stuff. You got it?
I got it.
All right. So we're done now.
Okay.
So,
so the neck is going to bend in the middle between the nut and the heel. And the truss rod, so the truss rod should be, the middle of the truss rod should be roughly in the middle of those two locations. Mm-hmm. You're not going to make it move at the heel.
No.
So it doesn't have to go all the way back to the heel if it's a headstock adjust.
Yep.
If it is a heel adjust, it's not going to do anything until the middle.
Yep. All right.
Either way. There you go.
Man, I'm thirsty. Tom wants to know, do we use the same headstock angle for an inline Kramer or Jackson style as you do for our regular 3 per side? Yes, Tom, we do, and that is, in fact, 7 degrees. Yeah. Why do we use 7-degree headstock angle, Chris?
Because Dan Armstrong?
That's the real reason we started, but it's worked so well for us.
Yeah.
It's really strong, it's really sturdy, and yeah.
I think the reason that he used it is the same. One of the reasons that we use it, when you start looking at stock thicknesses of wood, you can make a 7-degree headstock with
8-quarter lumber.
lumber.
Yeah.
And you cannot make it any steeper than that with 8-quarter lumber.
Yeah.
Because we drew it out, and then you went, oh, well, it's about 7. And Dan Armstrong used 7. That's cool.
JC says, there's a company in Sweden that makes those squiggly frets that fix intonation. How would you like to level and dress those?
No, thanks.
No, thanks.
No, thanks. I think people get overly wrapped up about intonation and in tune, and the guitar is a very imperfect thing. Tuning is an imperfect thing. Pianos are imperfect.
Yeah.
And so really what you're doing is you're trying to find something that doesn't sound bad to your ear, and it's not necessarily perfectly in tune, it just doesn't sound quite right. It's like the B string on an open tuning. That B is always, and the G too, are always slightly off, and sometimes if you sometimes if it's tuned slightly higher than it's supposed to, it sounds better than if it's tuned exactly to B.
Someone who knows more music theory, who's someone who has forgotten more music theory in the last 10 minutes than I will ever know, once told me that as humans in the 20th century, we have grown accustomed to certain notes being out of tune. And when we hear them in tune, it sounds off. I don't know if that's true or not.
That may be true.
But
yeah.
again, this person teaches music theory at a college, and I get dirty every day. So
Yeah, and people that can really hear out of tune, it can drive them insane.
yeah,
But I think, so it plays in tune down near the nut and 5th fret and 7th fret, and then as you go up, you're probably not playing any really long, sustainy kind of things. You're mostly wheedling away,
Yeah.
which you're not going to notice it as much there, and you're bending notes, which you're certainly not going to notice because you can bend it into
Yeah.
tune and stuff like that. And yeah, you've gotten used to hearing guitars sound that way in those positions. So,
I have a question for you, Chris.
yeah.
How do you set the intonation on a 37 and 5/16 fretless bass?
You don't.
That's right.
There's no intonation on a fretless
How do
bass.
you even tune it? I mean, theoretically, it could be in tune all the time. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like we've gotten some clarification on the volume or the
Oh, okay,
VBT versus VVT. They wanted volume. The B is for blend.
Okay.
If it was me, I'd much rather have a switch than a blend knob.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I think with a blend knob, there's too many options.
Yeah.
You know, I like it on 1.5, or I like it on 4, but not 5.
And you can't
Slightly
necessarily
rolled back.
look at it and go, I'm in
No,
exactly the
not
same
always.
spot as that.
Yeah.
I had an Ernie Ball bass for a while, and
Uh-huh.
there was a couple sounds that I really liked and a lot that I really didn't like. And because I play with a pick, and I'd get a lot of clicky noise that I
Yeah.
didn't like. So I had to kind of get everything right, and I'm like, okay, don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Whereas on the bass that I play now, it's just got a volume and it's got a tone control, but I just turn everything all the way up. And yeah. So anyway.
Cool. I think I'd like a tone control better if it was like a 6 or an 8-way rotary switch, where you could just set it to a position. You know, like, I like this guitar on the tone on the 6 click.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to find
Yeah, that would be
that perfect
Yeah.
thing. It'd be fewer options, but I think more usable for me.
Okay. I hear you. I'm a Fool wants to know, have you ever made a one-piece neck plus body guitar? No. It has never occurred to me to try.
We've seen some of that stuff
Yeah.
at NAMM, and it's always kind of neat.
It just
It's-
seems
it's
like
a
an
neat
art project more
yeah,
than
yeah.
than a guitar built at a
Uh-huh.
laboratory or factory like ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see any real need to do that.
Curtis Lee wants to know, Matt, have you ever worked with a compensated nut? The only compensated nuts that I've ever worked with have been on Ernie Balls, and I am so old and deaf that I cannot tell the difference. If you can, then then more power to you. Everything that I like that's been recorded musically has not been done with a compensated nut or a fan fret multi-scale neck, or with a conical fretboard radius, or with, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'd like to say I'm into everything from AC/DC to ZZ Top, but really, I just like those guys. How about you, Chris? Not on the AC/DC or ZZ Top thing, but yeah.
On the compensated
Yeah, like,
nut?
because you can really start to deep dive into.
That's more of that. Yeah, I'm not a good enough guitar player that's what I need to be worrying about. I need to be worrying
Yeah.
about, am I practicing enough? Am I? Yeah.
Yeah, if you've gotten to the point where you can play better than your guitar and you have a really nice guitar, then yeah, you might need to start getting into the weeds with some of
Yeah,
that stuff.
maybe. Yeah. I think a lot of tuning stuff too is guys pulling strings sharp and pressing strings sharp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I notice on some guitars and guitars with really light strings that I have a tendency certain chords and certain positions where I cannot play in tune, and the guitar's in tune. I just press too hard or whatever. So that's why I use really heavy strings and really little frets.
Okay, it's doing something now. I can't. Damn it.
Uh-oh. Matt broke it.
Something happened. Okay.
Anyway. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm kind of lost here. Okay. 1883 Clifton. I used Minwax Daffodil stain on my SG build. It's too late for sanding sealer to fill the grain, or should I go straight to nitro? I got Balin's TV yellow. I don't. It's going to depend on your on what your that stuff is compatible with. I just don't know.
Yeah, so it's a stain. If you put grain filler over it, it's gonna cover up some of the stain. Mm-hmm. But then you could go back and restain it, and then go to your sealer and your top coats. And it depends on the wood too. A lot of people use grain filler on stuff that doesn't need grain filler.
Yeah, I hear you. Clifton also said something here. I think we upset him earlier, and I don't. You know what, man? Guys, if I'm not seeing your comment, it's not because I don't like you. It's because I'm looking at a teeny tiny screen.
Because Chris forgot his iPad.
Yeah. So he says, I love that you guys seem to care about your very least important of fans. I am somebody. Just call me Clifton. I don't know I don't know if I've upset you or not. Yeah. I'm sorry if I have.
We don't mean to. Yeah. Miss questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just sort of happens. There's a lot of questions. You can see all the questions. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Perry wants to know which boogie we have in the shop. We have
it's the Express.
The Express 50. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Could you explain how to open and remove one of those telly knobs with no screw attachment?
Telly knob with no screw attachment.
So
just a press-on telly knob.
Yeah.
Usually they have plastic in them, and you can either grab it and pull it off, or StewMac makes a really expensive knob remover. Mm-hmm. Or the way that I like to do it is you take a rag and you wrap it around the knob and kind of tighten, twist it tight and then pull up with it, and you can pull the knob off that way.
Yeah, I like to use a T-shirt for that.
Yeah, T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a cotton cloth of some sort, or yeah.
Let's see. Watch the Crimson guitar video on how to calculate neck angle. When I figured it on a couple of plans, was 2.5 to 4 degrees, small enough. Not even bother with the angle. 2.5. Yeah, you do need to bother with the angle, Dan.
It's a fair amount,
because you're not talking about 2 degrees here. You're talking about 2 degrees 20. Well, you're talking about it's going to be further past the angle. So, yeah, you need to have it.
And the difference between 2.5 and 4 is a lot from nut to bridge.
A considerable amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gonzo59 says November 16th is his 61st birthday. November 17th is my 50th birthday. So, yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what the 59 is for.
What 59?
It's for his birth year, Gonzo59.
Oh, okay.
61.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm way behind on questions. You know what? I'm just going to jump forward to where we actually are in questions here. I'm sorry that I have to do that. I have a Gibson. Oh, crap. I just lost it. I have a son of a bitch. I have a Gibson ES 150D, and the frets need replaced. What's the correct fret wire for it? I want to match what was originally on it. They're extremely low right now. I don't know the exact answer for that. The good people at Gibson would be able to tell you more about that than I. Gibson has used sometimes frets that are actually round and crowned, and some of them are flat hunks of metal pressed into the thing. So, yeah.
Wonder frets.
Yep, the fretless Wonder.
There you go. That's what
Answer my stupid question, or I will cry out and vote Joe Biden. Ha ha ha. Robert, I have no idea what. Let's see. Does your beer taste as good in the wine-colored plastic? No, I'm not drinking beer right now. I'm drinking water. Okay. Let's see. I'm not good enough to justify a nice tube amp, so I bought an old Lab Series L7. How would you rate that for cool factor? I think that I would put that for second cool. I would put that up there, actually.
Would you?
Because I remember when those were old amps, and that was in the 80s, and I was like, wow, what's this old thing? And like, didn't like BB King use some of those, or like those? Remember those Music Man amps that Ernie Ball or that Fender designed that had like solid state preamps and tube power amps?
Yeah.
They were quirky. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say if you like it, then play it. Don't let somebody else tell you what you like.
Dennis O'Rourke has a super chat. Thank you, Dennis. And a really sticky question.
Okay.
Have you ever had to drop a client because they were a jerk or hard to work with? Any stories? Every client has a story. Some are better than others. Some are super awesome, and some can be handfuls.
The story or the client?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
I'd say yeah, we've had some people that we didn't see eye to eye with, and we
shan't work with them again.
no, we shan't. And we rather than continue, we decided to pull the plug and refund and.
But I would say that
else, but
for the
part, no.
most part, yeah, it has never been a thing where we have just fired a client and sent the money back. We've gotten some people who, one guy got angry with me in a live chat because of something. I think there was a misunderstanding. He's like, "Hey, what's up with my neck? Hey, what's up with my neck?" And asked like a million times. And after a while, I'm like, well, nothing's really up with your neck. You haven't paid for it all yet. And he like got really mad and demanded his money back. And I'm like, fine, just whatever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, most of our customers are very cool people. And yeah, this is a cooler business than say like, I don't know. What is this? A cool custom tractor? Actually, those are probably pretty cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure like a custom tractor is like a bunch of farm guys,
Man,
and they're probably neat guys.
You're into tractors. Custom tractors, pretty cool.
Yeah, probably.
And there are people that are into tractors.
I bet you like custom anything, generally speaking, has kind of an upper echelon clientele.
Yeah, well, and we're in a business where, I mean, I don't think anybody needs what we got.
No, they
what
do.
We're offering. Well, but you want it, and it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Guitars are fun for 99% of us.
Yeah.
And so if you can, keep your eye on that,
Mm-hmm.
then it's all good.
We have had to gently attempt to convince people that their ideas are not good. And sometimes that meets with success and sometimes not so much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah. All right, let's get down to business here.
All right.
What solder iron do you use? Historically, I have used Snap-on butane iron, but I have fried pots as I think it doesn't get hot enough. That's from Ken Tipton.
Oh, okay. What is that we have? We have two of them.
We've got the Weller soldering
it's a Weller,
irons.
fairly basic. It's, I think, the bare minimum to solder the top of pots. I've got another soldering iron that was actually designed for stained glass.
What's that great big one that I bought for like pulling frets?
Yeah.
It's for something like that, right?
And my big one solders the tops of pots really, really well. It'll solder chassis too on amps. But just that Weller.
Rick wants to
really
know
well.
what temperature control. If you use a temperature controlled iron, what setting do you use it on?
All the way up every time.
Pretty much me too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sitting there and hold, and this is how I think you burn stuff up.
Yeah.
Is not having an iron that's hot enough, and you set it on there, and you have to hold it on there, and instead of just heating up one spot really fast for what you're going to do, you end up heating up the whole thing. I think
a
I've
big heat
actually,
sink, right?
I've actually melted.
I'm going to take
knobs.
my mug is like the Doppler effect now. You see it before you hear it, okay? There we go. All right,
Yeah,
sorry. That my microphone is okay.
So,
yeah, I don't messing
I
around
try
with
and solder
soldering
really fast with a really hot iron. Yeah.
Yeah, that I think that works the best too.
Yeah.
Someone
if
wants
I
to
hold it
know.
on there longer than 4 or 5 seconds. That's too much.
The Timinator wants to know, when is Guitar Center going under?
I don't know. That has been the story since I can't even remember.
Yeah. I don't
Since
have
the
a dog in
90s.
that hunt. Yeah,
No.
I don't. Yeah.
No, and it always works out for them. I don't know how they pull it off. I've heard other rumblings again recently that things aren't going well.
Mm-hmm.
Duh. And because they never change anything. It's always the same. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, remember,
They'll
like
probably
recently
still be
they
around.
added like lessons, and they got rid of all the They got rid of a bunch. Yeah, I don't. I
Got rid of a
don't.
bunch of, the greeter.
I can tell you what they don't do at Guitar Center. Call us and go, hey, what do you guys think we should do? So,
Yeah.
Jim wants to know, do your fabric guitars add any characteristics to tone or sustain? They are freaking sweet. Where did you get the idea to carpet a guitar? Stoned? So first of all, Jim, I do not smoke pot, even though we live
I
in
don't
Colorado.
either.
And
Yeah.
I'm a terrible pot
If
smoker.
you're the worst pot smoker,
Are
in
you the
Colorado,
second
I'm the
worst?
second.
Okay.
Yeah, I am not any good at it.
I've tried it, and
I
it's just
don't
not for me.
even like
Yeah.
it. And even when it went legal, I thought, well, I'll give it another whirl. And no.
I have a distinction of I bet you I can count on one hand the number of times I've smoked marijuana.
Yeah.
But I have been arrested in Texas for marijuana. So anyway.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the fabric top really does. You might what does the fabric do to the magnet?
Nothing.
Yeah. So I don't think that it creates something sonic that I think it just looks cool. Here's the thing. You don't buy that guitar because you're going to just use it in the recording studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it hurts sound
No.
either. It's not
No.
like you're putting on a 1/4 inch piece of leather or something like that.
And yeah,
It's it's
where did we get the idea to do that?
you came up with it.
I've always liked the Paisley
Yeah.
Tellys.
Yeah.
And I really want, but I always liked that there was Paisley, but I never liked the burst. So as soon as
yeah.
we came up with a way to do it with binding, to where the binding was the place where the pattern ended and the paint job began, that was a clear line of demarcation. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. So that's kind of where and of course, since then we've done stuff without binding and burst, and
Yeah, but maybe slightly better bursts.
yeah, we don't go
than
super
hot
far into
pink,
the
inch and a half into the body.
yeah.
Yeah. So, other people have done fabric, and I think there was even some fabric stuff on some Japanese guitars in the '60s that wasn't paper like Fender used. It was actual fabric. I've seen, I think Goya or somebody
Okay.
like that. But anyway,
Here's one that I don't understand. Maybe you know. Steven Soba, are you able to discuss the Turner LB guitar the individual is wanting to build? Will it be true to the model? Oh, okay. Okay, now I know. Now I'm up to speed. Or their own slant. Yeah, so that's our friend Andrew St. Pierre, and I am going to. I think that he wants to kind of streamline things a little bit, but he's also coming here, which means that he gets to take full advantage, or rather be encumbered every day with Matt challenging him to make it more complex and tricky. So I'm not sure how we're going to do all of it, but what we're going to do more than anything is the woodwork, because Andrew St. Pierre is an accomplished finisher.
yep.
But he just wants to come out and have us help him build. And I'm not sure, like, is it going to be an exact copy?
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a counterfeit guitar.
No, I don't think that's what he wants at all.
No.
But I think he wants something that really cops that flavor
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And has the look, if not the
The
actual
funny thing is,
guitar.
most of the woodworking stuff that's neat is on the back. You can't even see it,
Yeah.
So, anyway. Okay, all right. We actually just picked up the Honduran mahogany for that just the other day.
From Honduras.
Steven wants to know, the orange calipers that you use lots of times, you said they were in Irwin, and you get them off eBay for around $10. I couldn't find any Irwin ones. Can you make... I have not been able to find those on Amazon either.
Yeah, last time I looked on
There's
Amazon
cheap
and eBay.
digital ones
yeah,
now.
Yeah, but I couldn't find the orange ones. I might have bought them all up. Last time I got them, I ordered five sets.
I think so. The dial is not cool anymore, and everybody wants digital. So, for
Yeah.
example, like the StewMac nut slot gauge
Yeah.
went from being an analog thing with
Yeah.
a dial to being all digital. You can't even get the old one anymore. And I think that the calipers are the same way.
Yeah.
I
Man,
have
I
a
hope
link. I have an Amazon link. You know what? I'll even put some Amazon links in the description on this. Oh shit! I should have done that before. Well,
Oh well.
I don't know how we'll do that, but we'll put them on there, and if people want to check it out, they can. Some tools that I think are must-have tools and some calipers that I think are pretty decent and not going to break the bank.
Yeah, I think I saw those orange ones with a Husky label on them one time too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think what they are is a Taiwanese or Chinese brand that you can label on your own and sell through whatever channels you want.
Yeah.
Was it Irwin? I think maybe Allen I saw him as. Yeah. So, but keep looking and maybe you'll find them.
Gonzo59, I'm pro 420 smoke. Guys, I have no problem at all with if you want to smoke. I'm just, this is not for me. So more for you guys. I'm not going to say this, but it is very likely that someone that I know that is close to me has more pot because I don't smoke it. With that, with what you will.
And
Okay.
It's not me.
It's not Chris. What is your favorite body wood and your least favorite and why? That's a great question, Robert. You know, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here. You got yours?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to say that my favorite wood and my least favorite wood are the same.
Okay.
Both of them are poplar. Poplar is cheap. It machines great. It takes paint and sealer really, really well. But I hate it because everybody else thinks it's a garbage wood.
Okay.
I like all those other things, but for the most part, poplar's super easy to get. I was thinking about this earlier today. I get stuff from people, like, hey, I want roasted bird's eye maple neck and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other, and all these fancy woods. And I'm like, you know how long it's going to take me to source all that stuff? Whereas, some of the more basic lumbers, even alder is getting hard to find locally, and swamp ash I have to order. I have a guy who I get that from. That's Dan at Guitar Wood Experts. You guys can get it from Dan too. But I have no trouble getting poplar, maple, mahogany, especially the African variety is real easy to get. Walnut, things like that are super easy to get. But there's mahogany, and then there's mahogany. So some of that stuff is real fuzzy, and some of it's really heavy. You know what? Can you talk about yours? I want to show that guitar body that I made the other day.
Oh, okay. For me, it depends on what the finish is going to be. If it's see-through and I want to see some grain, then I'm a big fan of mahogany and ash, swamp ash, light ash. If it's going to get a solid color paint job, poplar's probably one of my favorite just because it machines really well and it takes paint really well. Woods that I don't like, some mahoganies.
Yeah.
That are hard to paint. Baseball bat ash, the ash that we can get locally, I hate it because it weighs a ton.
Yeah.
And it looks great, but you can't hardly use it for anything. So
this is a poplar strap body that I just made, just to do some testing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with this body. This is a cool wood, and it's actually pretty light. What does this weigh? Oh, you know what? We actually have a scale. Let's check it out, Chris.
it weighs,
Yep.
I'll say 4.2 pounds.
Okay.
And I think it's lighter than that. But
You about to find out.
yeah.
So that's
Yes, 3.8.
okay. So that's
Actually
a
really
strap
light.
body that doesn't have any contours. 3.8. We can probably get down to.
Be 3.5 probably with contours.
All right, so here are some. This is actually a Paul Reed Smith style body that I was making just out of scrap material for another project. It's got poplar and maple and black limba because I had some scraps of all this stuff, and I'm like, I know, just throw it on there. So this is actually wildly heavy. That's going to be a pretty neat body one day, I think.
It weighs 6 pounds straight up.
Woo!
0.02.
Okay, this is a piece of mahogany that I got just yesterday, and cut it into the exact same body as you just saw there. This is a 2-piece mahogany body. What do you suppose? Just looking at it, Chris. What do you think it? What do you think it weighs? What do you think it ought to weigh?
Well, you would think it would be light.
Yeah.
Which I know isn't true.
Yeah.
I would think it would weigh probably 3.5 to 4 pounds.
But it actually weighs.
Too much. 6.7.
So almost 7 pounds just for the body.
And it's not big.
No, it's not.
No.
So so the Paul Reed Smith things, guys, we're working with some of that stuff, and more of that to come. Okay, so let's see. What is the best clear for a fretboard? I want to do a fabric one. Let's see. Robert, I would look at my blog about how to do fabric tops, and you will know every single thing I know about doing fabric work on a guitar. Simtex sealer, and then whatever clear you're using. We're using Tamco these
Yeah, we
days.
used the fabric fingerboards that we did were the exact same process as the fabric tops
Yeah.
on bodies.
RJ's Cave wants to know, how do you guys feel about some wood I can't pronounce? Paulownia.
Paulownia.
Paulownia wood.
Uh-huh.
It seems like it's going to be used more. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about it. What is it? Just super
Paulownia
light?
it's super light. It's super airy. It's
Yeah.
full of well, not voids, but yeah, it grows super fast.
Is that Brad Paisley guitar wood that they're
It
using?
might be.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people like it, and a lot of people like it because it's really light. It's remember that kid that came to the body class.
Yes,
and
yes.
Had the
Was that what
the
that was?
crazy- Yeah,
That was super
yeah.
light. Okay,
Super light
now I
and
know what it is. Yeah.
almost like styrofoamy. Yeah, it's I don't know. If people don't like basswood because it's soft, there's no way they're gonna like Paulownia.
So that's the real downside to those super light woods. Generally, is you can
Yeah,
dot them. It's hard to keep them without any dents and dings and stuff.
Yeah,
So
but it's probably pretty cool.
once you get the finish on it, it's probably
yeah,
okay.
the
but
machine's nice enough.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
as I recall
but it
that
has
when Cipriano brought that.
yeah. It had a little bit of, I wouldn't even call it tear out. It's just end grain is very open
Okay.
on that wood.
I hear you. Yeah.
So we haven't sealed one up. It might be hard to seal up.
Let's see. Caboyoth. Do you advocate a simple wire? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, my friend. Do you advocate a simple wiring harness for a guitar and rely on the amp and pedals to sculpt the tone, or do you have a failing of the more elaborate style? I think keep it simple on the guitar and do all of your tone shaping with the amp.
Every time I've ever had, for me, if I have a guitar that I can get 2 good usable sounds out of, whether it's, 2 pickups or 1 pickup and a tone or whatever it is, I'm happy. I don't need any more sounds than that from the guitar. Everything else I can do with a pedal or amp or whatever else. If I have too many options, I feel like I have to use all those options all the time, and then I get like balled up on that instead of playing the guitar.
Andy Mandiak, tools you need 11 through 50? And I know,
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. We've talked about that, not for a while though.
we haven't done a
We should
tool
do
video
that.
in a long time.
Yeah.
We should do
Yeah,
more
we
of
were
those.
doing those like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and that original that you did, the top, well, not
It was
top 10,
the first 10,
Yeah,
and
first
then
10,
I kind of
yeah.
shit the bed on the rest of it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a? Okay, hold on. Can you please put a must-have tool list suggested? I am going to add my must-have tool thing to every video description from now on. So yes. Do you guys grain fill before sealer?
No, we use the Simtech as grain fill.
Although, stop the presses.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you this. Someone from something called Aqua Clear sent us the thing. Hey, would you like to try our grain filler? So we might
Yeah, so
start.
we'll try it. I'd be interested to try it on mahogany and ash.
Ken Tipton says, my favorite wood by far is Wengi. I think he just wanted to know if I would say Wengi or Wenge.
Wenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that wood too, though.
Yep. Isn't it heavy?
I think if you had a bunch of it, yeah, but it's very rarely used for like a whole body or something.
Okay.
So, yeah. Let's see. Okay, I'm jumping ahead here. Actually, Ken says most of his guitars are mahogany with a 1/4-inch Wengi top. Wow, okay. Poplar is wood choice for some tanks guys.
For some, maybe thanks.
Maybe okay, yeah. Sorry, Clifton. I can't read. Could you guys make an Apatong body guitar just to prove how bad an idea it is. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Can you tell me what that is? I'll have to look that up.
If we already know it's a bad idea,
Yeah.
I don't know how interested we are in making it.
Yeah.
See, I told you it's going to be terrible. Look at that.
Let's see. I have a 1987 made in Japan Strat, and would you know what type of wood the body is? Gary wants to know. It's
No.
a 87.
87 is probably basswood.
Okay.
Especially if it's a, it's probably basswood. But it could be alder as well.
What's the best place to source poplar in the USA? We just buy it locally. We source that from Austin Hardwoods or Paxton Hardwoods.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough to have 2 hardwood places in town.
Yeah. Poplar's pretty fast growing, and I think it's pretty everywhere. So
Yeah.
shouldn't be too hard to find it.
Let's see. I'm trying to forward to some actual questions here, guys. I know I'm probably missing a lot of stuff here. Here we go. CC Chicken, preferred way to pop figure maple dyes or transparent candy paints. Let's let you go on that one.
Reread the question.
Okay, I'm gonna paraphrase here.
Okay.
What is your preferred way to pop figure on maple? Do you
okay.
use dyes or do you use candy paints?
Depends on the piece of wood and what you're trying to make it look like. If you want it to really pop, then probably dye it and then sand it back, and then at that point, then I would go over, after everything else was done, then I'd go over it with a candy to make it really pop. I think if you go over it with more dye, it just sort of leaches that original color out
I generally don't like to put dye directly on wood.
Yeah.
Unless, because if it's really, really nice figured maple, when you put the sealer on there, it's going to pop.
Yeah, and I don't want it to look fake either. I don't want it to look like it's
Like I'm looking over there at that Les Paul,
Yeah.
and that was really plain looking until we got sealer on it, and it went ba-bing.
Yeah,
But sometimes if you have kind of a ho-hum piece of wood, you can make it be cooler by kind of cheating the flame or the figure, right?
Yeah. So I guess it just depends on what look you're going for.
Yep.
We don't do any or too much crazy figure stuff.
Generally speaking, we don't. Let's see. Amazon link for tool thingy. Yes, I will absolutely do that. I can't do it right this second, but I will do it later tonight. Does walnut work for a neck?
Yes.
I would say absolutely every single
we've
time.
Done several,
Yep.
and it's really good. Really cool. I really like walnut.
I do too.
I think it's a neat wood.
I do too.
I'd like to do
Doug
more with it.
Santinello says hello. Hey guys. Oh, sorry.
Oh, speaking of walnut necks.
Speaking of walnut necks, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Speedo Burrito's got a walnut neck.
That's right. I forgot about
And
that.
Andy the Saints has the sister neck
Mm-hmm.
to that neck. We made 2 at the same time.
Yep.
And it's neat.
Rick says, I heard that Wenge is splintery. Yes, it is. It's It's not. It's very, very different from, say, ebony.
Yeah.
That does not mean that it's unworkable, but
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Moving forward to, let's see. Joe Blow says, I'm still trying to figure out if I should buy some wool fabric for a fabric top. Well, if it was me, Joe, I wouldn't.
Yeah, wool.
Although there's wool and then there's wool, right?
Yeah, but usually it's probably going to be really, really thick, and it might be really, really fuzzy.
To me, I always tell people this, the cotton stuff that they have at Joann, the stuff they have the most of more than anything, that's the best.
Yeah.
You can use silks and stuff like that, but for the most part, the cotton stuff is the best and easiest stuff to use.
Yep.
Tom L's got to run. Thank you, Tom.
But you could buy some and glue it down and try it on a scrap piece of wood and see. You know, we've tested some different fabrics, and some of them were better than others.
Let's see. Dan wants to know, could probably use anything as a dye, but why? Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. That was it. There's chat and then there's questions for us. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. So I think we're to the end of all the questions here, everybody. If I didn't answer your questions, I'm sorry. I'm looking at a teeny tiny screen, and I I'm old. I'm sorry. What are you gonna do? So
Well,
I'm not as
well-
old as Old Man Fester.
You're right. You're not.
One
Yeah,
day.
10 months. Just wait. Yeah, we'll up our game a little bit. on
Yeah,
these.
it's
they'll get better.
It's hard in the shop, but yeah.
Well, and it's hard when somebody forgets his iPad.
Yeah. Joe wants to know, will you ever make a Speedo taquito?
Yeah, the burritos. Yeah, slightly.
Major Upgrade says Matt looks like a güero. I think that's just slang for white guy, right? Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's see. I have a Flying V with a Gibson called Granadillo. I'm pretty sure it's some species of. That's a kind of rosewood. It's a Mexican rosewood. Granadillo.
it is.
Yeah.
Almost every dark wood has some rosewood name that somebody calls it.
Yeah.
You know,
I like Granadillo. It's
and
okay.
You pick a region and then you put rosewood at the end, and that's what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazonian rosewood, and that's not rosewood you buy from Amazon.
No. There's
It's- yeah.
Brazilian and Mexican and Floridian and
The Brazilian rosewood
that's the
is completely hairless.
completely yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we're getting about an hour here. Why don't we go ahead and wrap
Yeah.
this one up? I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching. I really like these Thursday things because it kind of lets us answer your questions. Like on Sunday, we just sort of I just sort of go blah 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 blah, blah for an hour and yeah, but
Drink cheap champagne.
the finest, cheapest champagne you can
Man,
get in
yeah.
this neighborhood. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Flipside Music, Mike Learn at Learn Airbrush and Learn Guitars, Bitterroot Guitars. Remember to use TXTOAST at checkout and get 15% off. Guitar Wood Experts, Dan and Calvin and all the guys at Guitar Wood Experts. And remember, Texas Toast 15, I believe, is still a proper code to buy from Guitar Wood Experts. I'd like to thank Simtech Coatings and our favorite sponsor, our newest sponsor,
Venus Picks.
Venus Picks.
The first
That's
name
right.
in Picks.
The first name in Picks. So,
Venus.
yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We will see you not next Thursday because we have an online class. If anyone wants to get in on that, you can sign up on the website. In fact, all of our stuff, all of our classes, including our archive classes, are available on the website. Check them out. And if you want to watch those, you want to get in on that action, you can. Ooh, by the way, I just got an email from Ron at guitarbuildingtemplates.com. That code for the template class is still good. In fact, it's good for another just over 2 more months. So if you are wanting to buy some guitar templates and you want to know what we think about templates, we have a 2-hour course that was already filmed. And if you buy the course, you get 20% off your next order of templates. We get a code in there, and I bought a couple sets, and they actually should be here tomorrow. But I bought a couple sets, and I saved more than $20 on just buying those sets. So it's almost like getting the class free. So anyway, guys, if you're interested in any of those template classes or any of the other back catalog of stuff, it's all available on the website. Check it out, and you won't go wrong. You got anything else? I think we're good to go. So, guys, thanks for watching. This is Matt at Texas Toast, reminding you that life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar. If you're so smart, build it yourself. If you have any questions, please tune in for these things on Thursday. These are lots and lots of fun. We will see you next time right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take care, you guys.
See ya.